Your playlist isn't just music, it's. Hey, welcome to Wow Words of Wisdom. This is the podcast where we talk about all things mindset, all things confidence, and taking action, even when it feels scary. I'm Sharon McCaffrey, and if there's one thing I know for sure, it's this. Your mindset shapes everything. The way you think, the way you show up, the way you go after what you really want, and it all starts in your head. So if you've ever felt stuck, doubted yourself, or wondered if you're really capable of more, you're in the right place. Each week, let's break through those mental blocks, shift your perspective, and start making things happen. So welcome back to Words of Wisdom, and today I want to talk about your playlist. Like, your playlist really is your power, and I want to talk about how music actually shapes your mood but also your focus. And the question I want to ask is, do you ever notice like how the right song at the right time can actually make you feel like unstoppable, like a superhero, like you're walking into like a slow motion? I want you to understand your playlist isn't just music. It's a mood setting, motivation boosting, life enhancing tool if you use it right. Today, what we're going to talk about is how music actually affects our emotions, how to create a playlist that fuels your energy, and why you should be intentional about what you actually listen to. So, I want you to imagine watching Rocky with elevator music playing instead of Eye of the Tiger. Wouldn't quite hit the same, right? And this is why music really sets that emotional tone. It's just like a film soundtrack. Your playlist influences how you experience your day. I remember years and years ago when I was building my business and stuff, when I was having those days whereby maybe I wasn't feeling it, or maybe the doubt was kicking in and I was thinking, oh, can I do this and stuff? I used to play Lady Gaga Edge of Glory. I would just have the music banging in the car, wherever it was that I was, so loud. And when she would be singing, "You're on the edge of glory," I'd be telling myself, "That's it. I'm on the edge of glory." So that used to really build me up and remind me of what it was that I was trying to achieve. But on the flip side of that too, I joined a spin class in Manchester like over the last few months, and I do enjoy spin. But I ended up that I stopped going to it. And the reason that I stopped going to it is they used to play this music, this really like, I don't know, like grunge garage music and it was the same soundtrack for every class. The class used to be on a Wednesday morning, and it was so bad that I used to listen to the words of it sometimes, and the words were all like about like death and just really, really morbid things. And I stopped going to the class because the music just made me like, it really, really put me off. So that's why I want you to understand like the right music or the wrong music can really set your tone. So just imagine that if music controls the energy of a scene, why wouldn't you take control of your own soundtrack? So what I want to look at is the science behind, that connection between music and mood, and I suppose the brain chemistry breakdown. I'm one of those people, I like to understand the why behind things. I want you to think of like music as like a DJ for your brain chemistry. So, if you've got fast music, fast beats, like that's a real dopamine boost. Whereas like slow emotional songs, well, hello nostalgia, but also serotonin. So different types of music trigger different emotions. So, like as I said, like fast-paced music will make you feel more energetic. It will make you feel more motivated. Whereas, classical or kind of low beat music will make you feel like more focused, but also calmer. Whereas, like, lyrics or heavy music, that can lead to distraction or like an emotional release. So, I want you to think of like the gym versus sleep. Like, would you ever play lullabies while you're trying to deadlift? No. So why do we let then random music dictate our energy levels during the day? So your playlist it's almost like your emotional thermostat. So you want to make sure that you're setting it right. So how do you plan your playlist with intention? So the first thing is you want to identify your energy zone. So like for argument's sake, like your morning mindset boost. Maybe when you're in work mode and you want like focus. Maybe when you're in workout mood, you want fired up tracks. And then maybe you want some stuff that is relax and unwind. The next step then is you want to create a go-to playlist for each. And I want you to think of it like a little bit like a wardrobe for your ears. You wouldn't wear like stilettos on a morning jog. So why would you play chaotic music when you're trying to concentrate? Different playlists can help, shift your state instantly. So like, for example, if you've got like, the hype playlist or, the motivated playlist, before a big meeting. For me, like I know that I have different playlists. I have motivating music when I want to feel in a motivated mood. I have songs that really make me feel hyped up and stuff. I've got an easy listening playlist. So when I want to be a little bit more mellow or laid back, I've got my spa music. So this is when I want to relax and unwind. I have my road trip playlist. So if myself and Stephen are heading off on a road trip or going away for the weekend or stuff, I'll have that playing. Or even if I'm in the car on my own and it's a beautiful day, and then I've got like my mellow, like chill playlist as well. In that, you want to remove mood killers. So if a song like makes you feel sluggish or sad, remove it from your daily mix, just like you wouldn't keep expired food in the fridge, just because it can dampen your spirits like quite quickly. I also want to encourage you to, keep trying new music to see, what elevates your mood. So I had the app Shazam on my phone. So anytime I hear a song that maybe I don't know, or maybe it's something from years ago that reminds me of something I haven't heard in a long time, but I can't put my finger on what it is, I'll Shazam it, and then I'll add that to a list. So all my Shazam songs. So when I'm making new playlists, I'll go back through my Shazam. There can be a mixture of everything in there. It can be stuff that like was mood lifting. It can be stuff that was mellow, whatever. But they were all songs that triggered something in me that made me feel good in some way or other, whether that was in a calming way or an upbeat way. Then I'll find the songs on Spotify and add them to my playlist. I want you to think of it as a little bit as tweaking your personal recipe for energy and motivation. Now, there are a few common playlist mistakes, but also I've got the fixes here for you as well. So the first one is, letting shuffle ruin your mood. Would you let a random stranger DJ your wedding? No, you wouldn't. So why do we just shuffle with our day? So what you want to do is you want to pre-curate your playlists for specific tasks rather than just like shuffling through the day and whatever music comes on, but that's actually determining then your mood. The next mistake that people make is ignoring the impact of lyrics. If you keep listening to, let's say for argument's sake, breakup anthems, don't be surprised if your brain stays in heartbreak mode. So you want to choose lyrics that align with your goals and your mindset and what it is that you're trying to, achieve in life. And then the third mistake people make is like overusing one type of music. Even the best foods get boring if you eat them every day. So your brain does crave that variety. So how do you fix that? You rotate your playlist to keep things fresh. And that's what I was saying to you. Like I have a load of different playlists in my Spotify, depending on what type of mood I want to feel in. So the challenge I have for you this week, guys, is I want you to create your power playlist. This week, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about like setting up a playlist that lifts you up, one that is going to make you move, but it's also going to fuel your goals. And I would love if you could share, your top 3 go-to songs on your playlist with me on Instagram or on here on the podcast or wherever it is that you listen to me. Just to wrap up this episode here today, just remember your playlist is your power. Do use it wisely and you control your mood, you control your focus and your energy levels. It's not something, I think that we think about a lot, but it can have a massive, massive impact on your mood. If today's episode hit home, please share it with somebody who needs a mood boost. And again, thank you for listening to Wow Words of Wisdom. And that's my words of wisdom for today's episode of Wow. I hope this gives you something to think about. Because remember, your mindset shapes your reality. The way you choose to think today will impact what you create tomorrow. If you love this episode, let me know. Share it, tag me, or send me a message. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't already, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Catch you next time.